So let us start our topic with principles of planning. Basically, there are 10 principles of planning, but firstly we see what is planning. Planning is a dynamic process. It is very essential for every organization to achieve their ultimate goals. But there are certain principles which are essential to be followed so as to formulate a sound plan. They are only guidelines in the formulation and implementation of plans. So these principles are written in this slide. So let us start with the first principle of planning, that is basically the guideline for our plan formulation and implementation. So first principle of planning is principle of contribution. The purpose of planning is to ensure the effective and efficient achievement of corporate objectives. In fact, and the basic criteria for formulation of plans are to achieve the ultimate objective of the company. The accomplishment of the objective always depend on the soundness of plans and the adequate amount of contribution of company towards the same. So the second principle of sound and constant premising. Premises are the assumptions regarding the environmental forces like economic and market conditions, social and political, legal and cultural aspects, competitors and competitors' actions, etc. and etc. These are prevalent during the period of implementation of plans. Hence, plans are made on the basis of premises accordingly, and further of company depends on soundness of plans they made so as to face the state of premises. Let's move to the third principle of planning, that is principle of limiting factors. The limiting factors are the lack of motivated employees, or shortage of trained personnel, or shortage of capital funds, and the government policy of price regulation, etc. and etc. The company requires to monitor all these factors and need to tackle the same in an efficient way so as to make a smooth way for achievement of its ultimate objectives. So the fourth principle of planning is principle of commitment. A commitment is required to carry on the business that is established. The planning shall has to be in such a way that the product diversification should encompass the particular period during which entire investment on the product is recovered. That is the principle of commitment. So let's step into the fifth principle of planning, that is principle of coordinated planning. Long and short run plans should be coordinated with one another to form an integrated plan. This is possible only when latter are diverged from the former. Implementation of long range plan is regarded as contributing to our implementation of short range plan. Functional plan of company too should contribute to all other plans that are implementation of one plan should contribute to all the other plans. This is possible only when all plans are consistent with one another and are viewed as part of an integrated cooperated plan. So the next principle of planning is principle of timing. So the timing is most important principle in the planning process. To formulate and implement the plan, we have to be time focus policy maker. So the principle of timing, number of major and minor plans of organization should be arranged in a systematic manner. The plans should be arranged in a time hierarchy. Initiation and completion of those plans should be clearly determined. So the seventh principle of efficiency is the cost of planning constitute human, physical and financial resource for their formulation and implementation as well. So minimizing the cost and achieving the efficient utilization of resources has to be the aim of plans. Cost of plan formulation and implementation in any case should not exceed the organization output monetary value. The employee satisfaction and development and social standing of organization are supposed to be considered while calculating the cost and benefit of plans. So the eighth principle of planning is the principle of flexibility. Plans are supposed to be flexible to the favor organization to cope up with the unexpected environment. It is always required to keep in mind that future will be different in actuality. Hence, companies therefore required to prepare contingency plans which may be put into operation in response to the situation. So the next principle of planning is principle of navigational change. So since the environment is always not the same as predicted, plans should be reviewed periodically. So this may require these changes are changes in strategies, objectives, policies and programs of the organization. The management should take all the necessary steps while reviewing the plans so that they efficiently achieve the ultimate goals of the organization. So there is the principle of acceptance. 10th and the last principle of planning is the plans should be understood and accepted by the employees, since the successful implementation of plans requires the willingness and cooperative efforts from them. Communication also plays a critical role in gaining the employees' understanding and acceptance of plans by removing their doubts and understanding about the plans, also their appreciation and anxieties about consequences of plans for achievement of their personal goals. So these all are the principles of planning which we have to follow when we are going to plan some thing, or we have to plan about our policy or something is to achieve some specific goals. So we have to follow all these principles to be a good plan. So here we see the importance of planning in an organization, in an institution, or in a planning policy making process. So planning is an activity is based upon the application of various mathematical forecasting tools, using which projection of future with some certainty may be possible. So planning helps in identifying various stages of development which may essentially involve in the attainment of some departmental goals. So planning as an activity is regard to nation is seen of utmost significance, as through it only nations plans for socio-economic reconstructions and for strategic involvement of employment of resources for better attainment of objectivity in future. So planning helps an organization or institution or a policy maker chart a course for the achievement of its goals. So the achievement of a goals means organization or goals must be of profit earning, and institution goals will be the give the satisfaction to their students and their students parents, or in policy making, the policy maker see the to achieve the goals for the welfare of society. So the process begins with reviewing the current operation of organization and identifying what need to be improved operationally in the upcoming years. From their planning involves envisions the result the organization or the institution or a policy maker want to achieve and determine the steps necessary to arrive at the intended destination success. Whether that is measured in a financial term or goals, and that includes begin the highest rate organization in customer satisfaction or for society satisfaction. So now we see the efficient use of resources is the importance of planning. We will see one by one all the importance of planning. The first is the efficient use of resources. All organizations are large or small, and institutions that are large or small, and the policy maker that have long term and short term plans for their society have limited resources. The planning process provides the information to their top management needs to make efficient decision about how to allocate the resources in a way that will enable the organization or institution or a policy making or a policy to reach its objective. So productivity or the achievement is maximized and resources are not wasted on projects with little chance of success. Here is the establishing the next importance of planning is the establishing organizational goals. So setting goals that challenge everyone in an organization or institution or a policy to strive for the better performance is one of the key aspects of planning process. Competition make the process more efficient. So goals must be aggressive but realistic. Organizations cannot always allow themselves to become too satisfied with how they are currently doing. So they are likely to lose ground to competitors. The goal setting process can be a wake up call for the manager or a policy maker that have become compliant. The other benefit of goal setting comes when forecast results are compared to the actual result. So organization or the policy maker analyze significant variance from forecast and take action to remedy situation where revenues were lower than the plan or expenses are high. So the next importance of planning is managing risk and uncertainty. Managing risk is essential to an organization or a policy success. Even the largest corporation or a policy maker cannot control the economic and competitive environment around them. Unforeseen events occurs that must be dealt with quickly before negative financial consequences from these events become severe. Planning encourages the development of what-if scenario where manager attempt to envision possible risk factors and develop contingency plan to deal with them. The pace of change in business or a policy is rapid. An organization or a policy must be able to rapid adjust their strategies to these changing conditions. So the fourth theme importance of planning is team building and cooperation. Planning promotes team building and a spirit of cooperation when the plan is completed and communicated to the member of the organization. Everyone knows what their responsibilities are and how other areas of the organization need their assistance and expertise in order to complete assigned tasks. They see how their work contributes to the success of the policy as a whole and can take pride in their contributions. Potential conflict can be reduced when top management or a policymaker or a solicit department or divisions managers input during the goal setting process. Individuals are less likely to resent budgetary target when they had a say in their creation. So the last one, importance of planning is creating competitive advantage. Planning helps organization or a policy maker get a realistic view of their current strength and weaknesses relative to major competitors. The management or policy maker team sees areas where competitors may be vulnerable and then craft marketing strategy to advantage of the weaknesses. Observing competitors' actions can also help organization or the policy maker identify opportunities they may have overlooked, such as emerging international market or opportunities to market product to completely different organization, customer group or a social group.